We're going to start with example 1. We are going to be rewriting logs in condensed form. Condensed form is just a way to shrink them into one log. So starting with A, we're going to use the power property first. The first one here is the power property. So the 3 is in the front. That means it goes to the back. So then I have log of x cubed. After I will do the product property. So then addition turns into multiplication. And I have log of 4x cubed. You want to do it step by step so we don't make any mistakes. Then I will do the quotient property. So then subtraction becomes division. We're going to simplify the 4 and the 2 just to make our lives easier. So then I'll have 2x cubed. And then once again, subtraction turns into division. And voila, we have one log only. B is different. We're going to start off with parentheses first, since that's always the rule. You always want to do that first. Nothing happens to the bases. I'm only going to multiply the 3x and the 2y. That gives me 6xy. I still have the half outside. The half is now going to become a power. So then I have log base 2 of 6xy to the half power. The half power is just the square root. So just to make it look a little better, we're going to put it all under the 6xy under the square root. And that's my answer. And we're going to practice a little bit more. We're going to go ahead and rotate to example 2. So in example 2, a little bit more practice condensing them. So what do we always want to do first? The power property. So then this goes to the back. Remember that the whole thing gets squared. I'm going to simplify that. That would just become 3 of 16x squared. Then I will go from addition to multiplication. So I have log base 3. 16 times 2 gives me what? 32? X squared y. Then I am going to turn the subtraction into division. So then I have all over 4xy. I can simplify that. That becomes 8x because the y's cancel. And that's my answer for C. D is indifferent, even though it's using natural logs, same thing. You always want to do the power property first. So then I will have ln y squared. Let me bring everything else down. Oh, sorry. Let me bring everything else down using a different color though, so I don't get confused with the other example. So then I apologize that there's not a lot of space. I want to do the addition, so then that means everything that is positive. Natural log of x is positive, and natural log of 4 is positive. So I can rewrite this. So then I have all the positives together and then the subtracting together, because now this would just multiply. And then I will continue to divide. So then this would become this. And then that divides once again, which just, that means the y squared goes to the bottom. And that is my final answer, because I can't simplify anything else. And I've all brought it into one natural log. Now that we've done shrinking them into one log, we are going to be doing the opposite. For example, 3, you're going to be expanding them. Something important here, be careful to use parentheses correctly. We're going to be doing pretty much the same thing, following the order of operations. So just to make my life a little easier, I am going to distribute the 3. So I don't have this. So I have 2 to the power of 3, x cubed, y cubed. 2 to the power of 3 just becomes 8x cubed, y cubed. After, I know that these are dividing, so then those are going to split up into 8x cubed minus the natural log of y cubed. I know that these two are multiplying, so those also become addition. And now I have powers, so then the powers this time go to the front. So then I have 3 natural log of x minus 3 natural log of y, and nothing else can be expanded. Going to be the cube root of something is just to the power of 1/3. So then all of this is to the 1/3 power. I'm gonna again distribute that. So then I have x to the 1/3, y 2/3. When they distribute, they multiply. They are multiplying. That means these can be separated by addition. They have powers. That means the powers will go to the front. Notice that the last thing we always do is the powers going to the front. It's just easier, because then I know that everything else has been separated and expanded. And that's problem B. Now we can go to the last example, example 4. So rotating to where my title is at. Example 4. Again, expanding. We're gonna expand the logarithm. So then the square root is too scary. So let's change that to the power of half. You want to go step by step. So then these are dividing. So then I'm gonna switch them to subtraction. I always find it easier to expand. It's just, I guess, the way I see it. Some of you guys may find expanding harder. I know that these two are multiplying, So then those will become addition, then the 4, and then the y cube. I have powers, so that means the powers go in the front. Plus 3 log 2y. And since there is nothing else, I mean, if we really wanted to take it a step ahead, well, we know how to change that using our skills from a week ago. Log base 2 of 4 just becomes 2. And don't believe me, I can do that work on the side. That's when we do, let me bring this here, make it equal to x. We do our loop, 2 to the power of x equal to 4, same base, 2 to the power of 2, x is equal to 2. So I'm going to replace that with 2. And then I have everything else. So just a small step ahead. It's okay if you don't, sometimes you forget to do that part. With more practice, eventually we'll be doing everything together. And that's the end of these notes. This is supposed to help you with the hearts activity. So if it says condense, you're going to condense them. If it says expand, you're going to expand them. And then they're going to match. One of the condense is going to match one of the expand. One of the expand is going to match the condense. And remember, if you have questions and you feel like you still did not understand, make sure you stay for office hours the week you come back.